Sometimes it feels like the world is coming to an end. All the fighting, all the wars, yet we say never again. Can we stop the madness? Can we make it go away? We are standing here right now today to raise our voice and say, when we are one, we are strong. The question's not if, but when we'll make the world whole again. We pour our love and our hearts in all we do. Hayom Katzeh, the day is short, and there is so much more to do. When we are one, we can be better than yesterday. So let's raise our voice, look to the sky and sing it every day. When we are one. There is no easy answer. It's me and it's you, following our conscience when it tells us what to do. Be good and be kind, give lots to charity, do it with passion and be gracious, bring your intensity. We are one, we are strong. The question's not if, but when we'll make the world whole again. We pour our love and our hearts in all we do. Hayom Katzeh, the day is short, and there is so much more to do. We are one, we can be better than yesterday. So let's raise our voices, look to the sky and sing it every day. When we are when we are one, the world will be a better place. When we are one, then God will start God's face. We are one, we are strong. The question's not if, but when we'll make the world whole again. We pour our love in our hearts and all we do. Hayom Katzeh, the day is short, and there is so much more to do. When we are one, oh, we can be better than yesterday. So let's raise our voices, look to the sky and sing it every day. When we are one. Oh, when we are
רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu behar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu behar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Shamru bnei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. V'shamru bnei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini uvein bnei Israel oti le'olam v'shamru bnei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Shet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz v'shamru bnei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Vayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash V'shamru bnei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ledorotam berit olam, ledorotam berit olam, ledorotam berit olam. We are embraced by arms that find us, even when we are hidden from ourselves. We are touched by fingers that soothe us, even when we are too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us, even when we are too embittered to hear. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are supported by hands that uplift us, even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that need us, even when we are too weak for meeting. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love שנתת בי טהורה היא. אלוהי נשמה שנתת בי טהורה היא. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. Yes, we are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved by unending love and unending love. Loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love.
Sometimes it feels like the world is coming to an end. All the fighting, all the wars, yet we say never again. Can we stop the madness? Can we make it go away? We are standing here right now today to raise our voice and say, when we are one, we are strong. The question's not if but when we'll make the world whole again. We pour our love and our hearts in all we do. Hayom Katzeh, the day is short, and there is so much more to do. When we are one, we can be better than yesterday. So let's raise our voice, look to the sky and sing it every day. When we are one. There is no easy answer. It's me and it's you, following our conscience when it tells us what to do. Be good.
Shana Tova from the Glicks.
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova. Hi, Happy New Year.
Shana Tova to the whole JCCH family.
Shana Tova. Have a Happy New Year.
Shana Tova.
Happy New Year.
Take care from the Buckwell family. Be well.
Shana Tova.
Happy and healthy.
I want to wish everybody Shana Tova, and I hope that everybody has a happy, healthy, and peaceful year, and that you enjoy the holidays with all of your family. Good Yontif, and Happy New Year.
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
Happy and healthy New Year, sweet New Year to everyone.
Yeah.
Wishing everybody
Happy
the
New
best. And so does Becca.
Happy and healthy New Year to everybody in the JCCH community.
Hope you have a good New Year.
Is my head an apple? Are you going to put some honey on it, Teddy?
Hi everyone, Bobby Ord over here. Lashana Tova. Have a happy and healthy new year. Hope you're all well. And now I'll switch you over to Phoenix for the loves of my life.
I'm Jeremy Kraut Ordover, and this is my fiance Calvin Getz.
And from our family to yours, we wish you a very happy new year.
Lashana Tova.
Tova, Matuka.
Hey, from the entire Brown family,
Minna and Ken, Rachel and Jonathan,
we want to wish everyone
a sweet, a happy, and an especially healthy new year.
May we all be together again next year.
For now, Shana Tova Umateka.
From our home to yours,
Chag Sameach.
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
From Enzo too.
And the Toman family. Woo. Eating some apples and honey.
Have a joyous, peaceful, and healthy, and safe new year.
Tova Metuka.
מה טוב ומה נעים, שברחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שברחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שברחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שברחים גם יחד. How sweet it is to be together, even though we are far apart. Won't you please help me sing this and feel the music in your heart? Hinei ma tov u'ma na'im sheberachim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'ma na'im sheberachim gam yachad. Let's sing together. Hinei ma tov u'ma na'im sheberachim gam yachad. 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 Shana tova umetuka gemar chatima tova. Good evening, Chag Sameach. Welcome to our Kol Nidrei services. I'm Cantor Marcos Askenazi, and standing right beside me, appropriately distanced, of course, is our Rabbinic intern, Nicole Goluboff. Shana tova, Nicole.
Shana tova. We read in the Mishnah that Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel said that Yom Kippur was one of the most joyous days of the year. One explanation for why this is so, though not the one offered by Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, is that it's a day of forgiveness and pardon. Much more recently, the early 20th century, when Rabbi Joseph Soloveitchik came to Germany, he heard the Yom Kippur liturgy sung to joyful melodies, and he was quite surprised. He also observed that the congregation recited Al Chet, one of the confessional prayers, with rejoicing. He said of the joyful music that it was entirely appropriate because the day when sins are forgiven is a joyful one. Please turn to page 204 for Or Zarua.
Or Zarua, not Sadiq, Lishrei Simcha. 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 Meshiva Shelamala, Meshiva Shelamata, Aladat Makom, Ve'aladat Hakahal, Anu Matirin Leit Palel, Im Ha'avariyan. Meshiva Shelamala, Meshiva Shelamata, Aladat Makom, Ve'aladat Hakahal, Anu Matirin Leit Palel, עם העבריינים בשיבה שלמעלה ובשיבה שלמטה על דעת המקום ועל דעת הקהל אנו מתחילים להתפלל עם העבריינים. We now turn to the very prayer this night is named for, Kol Nidrei on page 205. This ancient Aramaic formula that we recite only on this night. We say Kol Nidrei 3 times, each time intensifying in nature. On this day, on this one day, we stand before you naked, without disguise, without embellishment, shivering, ridiculous. We implore you, please, let us try again. The first time around for Kol Nidrei, we'll listen to the beautiful, melodic, haunting sounds of the violin played by Jared McInerney. Thank you, Jared. We now invite our choir from Israel, Erez, Ita, Doron, and Eyal, to join us to help us sing Kol Nidrei. v'acharamei v'konamei v'chinuyei v'kinusei Darna udeish tabana udeacharimena mediasana nafshatana miyom kippurim zeh Yom Kippurim haba Ad Yom Kippurim Yom Kippurim haba Yom Kippurim haba Haba Aleinu Haba Kol hon icharat na behon Kol hon Elinu mevutalin Nidrana la nidrei ve'esarana Ushevuatana Kol Nidrei ve'esorei v'acharamei ve'konamei v'chinuyei v'kinusei Darna udeish tabana udeacharimena mediasana nafshatana Miyom Kippurim zeh Ad Yom Kippurim Yom Kippurim haba haba aleinu, haba aleinu, kol hon icharat navehon, kol hon shvikim, shvitin, betelin umevutalin, nidrana la nidrei ve'esarana ushevuatana la shevuot v'nislach lechol adat b'nei Yisrael v'lager hagar betocham ki lechol ha'am bishkaga slachna lavon ha'am hazeh kegodel chazedecha v'asher nisat ha'am hazeh mitzrayim v'ad heina ושם נאמר ויאמר אדוני סלחתי כדבריך. The bottom of page 205, this blessing of thanksgiving, Shehechianu, thanking God for helping us to arrive at this moment. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Let us sing together, Amen. Let's join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Won't you say Amen? God. Thank God for this moment.
We are privileged now to invite James Zaidman to offer a message of inspiration.
Hello, everyone. I am happy to have the opportunity to speak to you today. This past year, 5780, was, quite frankly, a weird one that will fill our history textbooks. Not only with the pandemic, but this year was also filled with wildfires, social unrest, and even political controversies. It started out with much anticipation from myself and my classmates, as this would be the year of our B'nai Mitzvahs. After much studying and preparation, learning prayers and songs with the help of Rabbi Harriman and Cantor Marcos, some of us were able to celebrate this milestone in person. Others, like myself, unfortunately did not and have had to postpone events into the future. This global pandemic has hindered everything in life, from school to even our most important religious events like this one. We go to school with masks and dividers, interact with our loved ones outdoors and at a distance, and we even pray online via Zoom. However, as the year 5781 begins, I am optimistic for the future of the United States and the world. New Yorkers are healthier than they have been in months, and New York is slowly but surely opening its doors again. In addition to this, a vaccine to fight the virus should hopefully be coming soon. I know that with God's help, we can make it through this crisis together and be prepared for the future and whatever it might throw at us. Tichle shana v'kiloteha, tachel shana uvirchoteha. May this year's troubles end and a year of blessing begin. My family and I wish everyone a happy and healthy new year. Shana tova umetuka.
Thank you so much, James. Please turn now to page 207 for Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu asks the question, am I awake? Am I prepared? So we'll sing this nigun, Yadadai, and then the words. Yadadai, dai, dai, 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 yadadai, dai, dai. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Are you listening to my prayer? Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Leolam Vaed. Yadadai Yadadai Dai Dai 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 Yadadai Dai Yadadai Dai Dai Yadadai Dai Dai. We are now prepared, our souls, our hearts, our minds are awake to pray the Ma'ariv service, which begins with the two blessings before the Shema, using the traditional nusach on page 207. Ma'avir yom, Meivir laila, Mavdil ben yom, uvein laila, Adonai Tzevaot Shemo Elachai v'kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Leolam Evoed Yai Dai 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 Yai Dai 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 Baruch atah Adonai Hamari v'aravim. Avat olam et Yisrael amcha ahavta. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negei yom havalayla ve'avatecha atasir mimenu leolamim. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. For the Shema on page 208, we'll call on Ari, Rena, and Lonnie Hammerman to lead us in the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha Bechol levavcha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'otecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha v'veitecha v'leftecha v'derech v'b'shofbecha v'kumecha Ukshartam leot al yadecha, vehayu letatafot beinenecha, uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha.
We'll continue privately with the passages of the Shema, page 209. Vehaya im shamot tishmu mitzvotah shenochim mitzvotecha miyom le'olam. B'shem man yirbuichem v'minechem l'adam asher shalom. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Please turn to page 210 for Mi Chamocha.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורות תהילות עושה יפן למלכותך ראו בניך בוקי הים לפני משה זה לי אנו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר כי ודע אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו יאי די 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 יאי די 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 יאי די 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 יאי די 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 יאי די די יאי די 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 ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
We're so pleased to welcome back Jaden Schwartz for Hashkivenu on page 211.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lehayim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lehayim. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu malkeinu le'ayim Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu malkeinu le'ayim Ushmor tzeitzeinu uvoeinu L'chaim u'shalom ve'ata ve'ad olam Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu malkeinu le'ayim Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu malkeinu le'ayim
Thank you so much, Jaden. Please turn now to page 212 for Ki Vayom.
כי ביום הזה יכפר עליכם לטהר אתכם מכל חטאותיכם לפני אדוני תטהרו. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה בעלמא דברה כראותי וימליך מלכותי וחייכון וביום אחרון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמי עולמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה לעילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירון בעולמה ויאמרו אמן. We're now going to hear a few words from our rabbinic intern, Nicole Goluboff. Nicole, it has been a pleasure and honor to work with you these past few weeks, to plan for these high holy days, to hear the insight and the wisdom, the profound wisdom that you bring. Thank you for sharing that with me and with our congregation.
Thank you so much. And let me say the feeling is so much more than mutual. Throughout the summer, I have participated in many conversations with my teachers, classmates, family, and friends about what the high holidays would look like at different synagogues. The initial focus was on how synagogues would conduct services and other holiday events for their communities. Would all the programming be online? Would it be live streamed or pre-recorded? Would there be some in-person gatherings? As the holidays approached, there was a shift in the focus of these conversations. The new focus was more personal. Where will you be celebrating? Will you be with your family? And the answer I've heard is no. Elders may be concerned about getting sick. Their kids may be concerned about putting them at risk. The sorrow people have expressed has been palpable. There may be differences of opinion within one family. Some family members may be feeling cautious. Others may be readier to resume a more familiar, more social way of living and of celebrating. Still, other family members may be conflicted, asking themselves repeatedly which approach is best. Whether everyone in a family agrees or disagrees about the best course, whether people feel clear about their decisions or ambivalent, the fact that the issue is even on the table has produced a great deal of pain. The Torah recognizes at the outset that it is good to have help in achieving the goals of life, including, I would argue, help in the celebration of holidays. After God created Adam, the first human, God concluded, it is not good, lo tov, for the human to be alone. I will make a fitting helper for Adam. We see the idea again when Moses is leading the people through the desert. His father-in-law, Yitro, comes to him and observes him adjudicating the claims of the people from morning to evening. Yitro sees that the volume of work is too great for Moses to handle alone. And he says to Moses, this thing that you're doing is not good, lo tov. The task is too heavy for you. You cannot do it alone. Yitro proposes a system which Moses adopts, in which Moses would delegate the minor cases to a host of chiefs and assume responsibility only for the more difficult cases. He would have help. Even God needed a helpmate. Again, in the story of creation, we read that when God made heaven and earth, there was no shrub of the field and no grasses, at least partly because there was no person to till the soil. That is, before there could even be shrubs and grasses, God needed human beings to till the soil. God needed a partner in the business of making the world thrive. Because of the pandemic, many families whose members are scattered in different homes may feel that they did not have their usual partners to celebrate the holidays in this year. Partners at synagogue, partners in hearing shofar, partners at the dinner table. Talking on the phone may have been helpful. Seeing loved ones on Zoom may have been helpful. But if it was months ago that you last had a hug from your children or your parents or a particular friend, you may feel an unbearable sense of longing for those partners. And if you suffered alone in a hospital without the gift of family or friends beside you, or a loved one suffered alone, you surely concluded, lo tov, it is not good. Now, if there is peace that we can derive when we think about our physical separation from people we love, it may be that we feel emotionally connected to those people. The suffering arises precisely because we feel we must keep our distance from those with whom we feel so close. If we feel emotionally connected to the people from whom we're physically separated, there is, I think, an important element of blessing in the hardship, a blessing on which it is critical to focus to help sustain us as we endure the distance. It hurts to be physically apart precisely because we feel emotionally together. But there's a different kind of disconnection people may feel, a disconnection which the pandemic may have caused or which may have existed long before the pandemic and which became stronger or more visible in recent months. That kind of disconnection is the sense we may have not only that we're physically separated from others, but that we're emotionally disconnected as well. We may feel emotional disconnection even from people living with us in our own home. We may feel that disconnection from spouses, from parents or children, from friends with whom we used to have a close relationship. Our tradition reminds us again and again that in God we can find a compassionate listener, someone walking with us. In Adon Olam we sing, V'hu eli v'chai goali, v'tzorchev li be'et tzara, v'hu nisi umanos li, menat kosi b'yom ekra. You are my God, my living Redeemer, my rock when I have pain and trouble. You are my banner and my refuge, the portion of my cup when I call you. And then at the end, Adonai li, velo ira. Adonai, you are with me, and I shall not fear. In Psalm 145, the Ashrei, we find a similar message that in God we can find company. Karov Adonai l'chol korav, l'chol asher yikru'uhu ve'emet. God is near to all who call in truth. And in Psalm 34 we read, Karov Adonai l'nishberei lev, that God is close to the brokenhearted. When we feel disconnected then, when we feel alone, we might take comfort from our tradition's assurance that God is near when we call. Now these texts suggest that our calling to God, our crying out, is essential to God's response. It seems that God is urging us to call for help when we need it, to call out when we're in pain or trouble, to call out when we are brokenhearted. In addition to bringing God near to us, calling out for help also enables the community to respond. When we call out for help, the community can follow God's example and heed the call. The community can partner with God to ease the suffering of the brokenhearted. Asking for help, making known the need for connection, may be a necessary first step to bring both God closer and people closer. Last week I spoke about how much good it can do to be mindful of what other people need, even when they don't ask for help. Tonight I want to stress how important it is to ask for help if you need it. We are about to pray the silent Amidah. Among my prayers will be that all who need greater connection, all who need help, will cry out. And I will pray that when I and others hear the call, we will come near and we will respond. Please turn to the silent Amidah on page 213.
I now want to call upon Henry Levinson to deliver a few remarks of hope and inspiration.
Happy holidays. My name is Henry Levinson and I am 13 years old. I recently had my bar mitzvah, but not just any ordinary bar mitzvah. It was online, on Zoom, in my kitchen. Even though it wasn't the easiest process, I knew one thing couldn't change. That was my mitzvah project. Even in this pandemic, I knew that I couldn't not help people. My bar mitzvah was back in April. Soon after, I got straight to helping others. My bar mitzvah was all about bringing light into people's lives. Soon after my bar mitzvah, I baked dozens of cookies and brownies to deliver to the houses of members of the synagogue. When this pandemic started, I knew people needed some source of light in their life. I figured baking treats was the perfect match. I went around all day delivering these little care packages with a quote, "Only in the darkness can you see the light." This quote sums up most of the year. Even with everything going on, we still need to look at the good, the light. In July, I did a raffle for the Pediatric Cancer Foundation. Jonah Pellegrini, Benji Pellegrini, my sister Sadie Levinson, and I raised over $6,000. We had many prizes, including AirPods, gift cards, and sports equipment. Although my bar mitzvah project didn't go how I expected, I know I helped people in need. That's what matters most. Wishing you all a sweet and happy New Year.
Please turn to page 223. May our supplications rise up at evening, our pleas arrive with the dawn, our songs transform the dusk.
May our voices rise up at evening, our righteous acts arrive with the dawn, and our redemption transform the dusk.
May our suffering rise up at evening, our forgiveness arrive with the dawn, our purity transform the dusk.
May our prayers rise up at evening, coming to you with the dawn, transforming us at dusk.
Please turn now to page 225.
הנשמה לך והגוף פה לך חוסה על המלאך הנשמה לך והגוף פה לך חוסה על המלאך.
Please turn to page 226 for the 13 attributes, towards the bottom of the page in bold.
Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum Vechanun, Erech Apayim, Verav Chesed Ve'emet, Noter Chesed L'alafim, Nosei Avon V'afesha V'chata'a V'nakeh. Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum Vechanun, Erech Apayim, Verav Chesed Ve'emet, Notzer Chesed L'alafim, Nosei Avon V'afesha V'chata'a V'nakeh, V'salachta L'avoneinu, U'lechatotenu L'chalatanu, Slach לנו אבינו כי חטאנו, מחלנו כי פשענו, כי אתה אדוני טוב וסלח ורב חסד לכל קוראיך.
Page 227.
כי הנה כך אומר ביד היוצר, ביד היוצר. כי הנה כך אומר ביד היוצר, ביד היוצר. ברצותו מרחיב וברצותו מקצר. כן אנחנו בידך חסד נוצר. לברית הבית, לברית הבית, לברית הבית, לברית הבית, לברית הבית, ועל תפן ליצר. כי הנה כאבן ביד המסתת, ביד המסתת. כי הנה כאבן ביד המסתת, ביד המסתת. ברצותו אוחז וברצותו מחתת. כן אנחנו בידך מחיה וממוטט. לברית הבית, לברית הבית, לברית הבית, לברית הבית, לברית הבית, ועל תפן ליצר. כי הנה כגרזן בידך רש, בידך רש. כי הנה כגרזן בידך רש, בידך רש. ברצותו דיבק לאור וברצותו פרש. כן אנחנו בידך תומך ונברש. לברית הבית, לברית הבית, לברית הבית, לברית הבית, לברית הבית, ועל תפן ליצר. Last stands on the bottom of the page. כי הנה ככסף ביד הצורף, ביד הצורף. כי הנה ככסף ביד הצורף, ביד הצורף. ברצותו משגג וברצותו מצרף. כן אנחנו בידך ממציא למזור טרף. לברית הבית, לברית הבית, לברית הבית, לברית הבית, לברית הבית, ועל תפן ליצר.
Page 233, Shema Kolenu.
ברצון
So now it's my turn to express what a great privilege it is to be working with Cantor Marcos for these holidays, to learn from you, to have your guidance, to have your support, to have your encouragement, to have your company as I walk through this new process. I am so grateful to you, and I am so looking forward to the words you're going to share with us.
David Cohen is a righteous Jew. He attends synagogue every week, prays with intention, takes his kids to Hebrew school, gives to charity, and tries to live his life inside the lines. This year, however, he was conflicted. You see, the NBA playoffs fall tonight on Kol Nidrei night, Yom Kippur. David is a fanatic when it comes to basketball. He doesn't miss a game. He has season tickets, and he's been to every basketball arena in the country. For weeks, he's agonized over whether or not he should attend Kol Nidrei or watch the game. Finally, this morning, David called his rabbi for guidance. Rabbi, he said, I know that tonight is Kol Nidrei night. It is the holiest day of the year for the Jewish people. But tonight it's a big game. It's the NBA playoffs, and I've never missed a game. I've got to watch the game. David, the rabbi, says sternly, that's what DVRs are for. David, surprised, stunned by the rabbi's suggestion, after a brief pause, says, Rabbi, you mean it's okay for me to tape Kol Nidrei? While funny, it is true this year. We are using streaming and recording technology to deliver, watch, and participate in Kol Nidrei and High Holy Day services. It is new. It is jarring. It is confusing. It is challenging. It is unprecedented. But what is also true is that fundamentally, Kol Nidrei and all of our services remain holy. Despite the challenges, this sacred practice of ours to reference pop culture cannot and will not be canceled. It will not be canceled because our tradition teaches us that we affirm ritual practice in the face of uncertainty. Jewish history has shown that out of our darkest moments, we rise stronger and more resilient as a people. The rabbis of antiquity demand from us a perpetuation of our spiritual practice. And going a step further, our tradition teaches that it is our responsibility to engage in acts of holiness as part of our being an extension of the arm of God. We learn in the Gemara, a commentary on the Talmud, which is the definitive collection of Jewish thought, Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. The soul that you have given me, my God, is pure and holy. We are brought into this world created in the image of God, B'Tselem Elohim, and it is our obligation to carry out those principles of our faith. And so we are here tonight from our living rooms, dining rooms, in front of our laptops, televisions, and phones, fulfilling this holy practice, fulfilling the teaching of our ancestors, taking a spiritual journey together. Let us focus now on the teaching we referenced earlier in the Talmud, Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. The soul you have given me, the soul you have given us, is pure and holy. The notion that humans have the capacity to carry out miracles and deliver goodness, and to stop the intentions of those who use their free will to inflict pain and misery and sorrow. A few weeks ago, I was listening to a sermon given by Joel Osteen, a prosperity preacher with the largest church in North America. Thousands of followers donate millions to the church. They pack a 25,000-seat arena every Sunday to hear Joel preach. One line he repeated over and over stuck with me. He said, just sit back and God will do the rest. This idea is antithetical to Jewish tradition, and I believe it violates the principles of the Bible that Jews and Christians share. In fact, in the Bible, it is humans who, after the world is created, are tasked with preserving, repairing, and building anew. Examples abound in the Bible. Abraham negotiates with God to stop God from destroying entire cities. Moses pleads with God to show restraint when God becomes angry. In the Bible, it is man and woman who fight for peace and pursue justice. A little over a week ago on Erev Rosh Hashanah, during services, we learned of the passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States. A fierce, no-nonsense champion of the people, delivering God's promise of compassion through her holy work. Justice Ginsburg fought for what she believed was right, and her sense of right from wrong was influenced, informed, and inspired by the teachings of our faith. She lived by those principles, hanging a passage from Deuteronomy over her desk. Tzedek, tzedek tirdof. Justice, justice you shall pursue. In a Washington Post article earlier this week, the author Yonat Shimron writes, "For Ginsburg, who died at home, surrounded by her family on Friday evening at the age of 87, the phrase from the Hebrew Bible, tzedek, tzedek tirdof, summed up perfectly her calling as a jurist and a Jew." Chief Justice of the Supreme Court John Roberts Jr. said in a statement, "Our nation has lost a jurist of historic stature. Today we mourn, but with confidence that future generations will remember Ruth Bader Ginsburg as we knew her, a tireless and resolute champion of justice." And that is what she was and what we must be, champions of justice. This is not a political statement. It is not a claim to patriotism. No. On this most holy night, it is a Jewish statement. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehora hi. This soul you have given us is pure and holy. And so the question becomes, how do we preserve the holy and the pure? How do we prevent the corruption of our souls? How is it possible that despite all we have been given, we manage to disrupt the natural order of the universe through greed, incompetence, dishonesty, disloyalty, and simply not caring enough about the people around us? For us, the answers are seemingly simple, but so difficult to carry out. We return. We return again and again to the essence of our souls. We return to do tshuva, repentance. We return to ask God, just as Martin Luther King wanted for his children to be judged by the content of our character. We return to resolutely proclaim our vow to do our part in making tomorrow a brighter day. We return to ask forgiveness with the hope that it will change us deep down inside. Easier said than done, I know. As the father of 2 young children, I understand what it means to have patience and to lose that patience. As an imperfect husband, I know what it is like to regret saying something just seconds after the words depart my mouth. And as an imperfect person, I know what it feels like to stand in front of another and say, I'm sorry, that was my fault. I'd like to suggest that maybe, just maybe, The idea that we are imperfect and that our souls are pure and holy can both be true and exist in the same place. And the pursuit of perfection, however fickle it may be, is the very thing that keeps us pure and holy, an extension of God. We will never be perfect. This we know. But God help us if we stop trying. This is the perfection of imperfection. This is Kol Nidrei. This is Yom Kippur. This is us. Earlier in the year, I wrote a song specifically for Yom Kippur. I was struggling to find the answers to the very questions I posed here tonight. The song is my conversation with God, and I'd like to share it now with all of you. Shana Tova.
Can we talk? I need to tell you the truth. I haven't been so good to you. I've neglected myself, ignored the ones I love. Would you give me strength? Set some help from above. Is it this hard? Am I so vain to stop myself from feeling someone else's pain? What happened to me? Will I ever return to the essence of my soul? I'm asking you to hold my hand and walk me through the fire. Return me to the essence of my soul. Put me back in control of my future and how things are gonna be. Don't let me go. Return me. I am quick to judge. I lose my cool. You probably think that I am such a fool. Can you restore the clarity I thought I had? Can you make me a better person? I want it so bad. Help me understand the way of the world. So when my child asks me the same question 100 times, I could do what my parents used to do, and I did the same thing. Oh, yeah, they would listen and answer patiently. They were so gentle and calm with me. They would rub my head and tell me everything was alright, that they would be there all through the night when I was scared of monsters living in my room. Help me do for my kids what my parents used to do. Return me to the essence of my soul. Put me back in control of my future and how things are gonna be. Don't let me go. Oh, return me, yes, to the essence of my soul. Put me back in control of my future and how things are gonna be. Don't let me go, don't let me go, don't let me go. Return me, yeah. Oh, return me.
Yasher koach, and thank you so much for beautiful words, beautiful music, and a very, very powerful message. Please turn to page 234, Ki Anu Amecha.
Eloheinu Belo Avotenu V'Imotenu Selach Lanu Mecha Lanu Kaper Lanu Ki Anu Amecha Ve'ata Eloheinu Anu Vonecha Ve'ata Avinu Anu avadecha ve'ata Adonenu anu keholecha ve'ata chelkeinu anu nachlatecha ve'ata goraleinu anu tzonecha ve'ata roe Einu anu charmecha ve'ata notreinu anu feulatecha ve'ata yotreinu anu rayatecha ve'ata dodeinu anu segulatecha ve'ata keroveinu anu amecha ve'ata malkeinu Anu mamirecha be'ata mamireinu. Anu azeifanim ve'ata rachum v'chanun. Anu ksheyoref ata erech apayim. Anu malei avon ve'ata malei rachamim. Anu yameinu ketzel over ve'ata uzno shnotecha lo itamu.
We now start Vidui prayers of confession. Please turn to page 235, Ashamnu.
Ay da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 Ashamnu
Ashamnu
Bagadnu
Bagadnu
Gazalnu
Gazalnu
Dibarnu Dofi
Dibarnu Dofi
Ay 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 Hebinu
Hebinu
Vehir Shanu
Vehir Shanu
Zadnu
Zadnu
Hamasnu
Hamasnu
Tafalnu Sheker
Tafalnu Sheker
Ay da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 Yatsnu Ra
Yatsnu Ra
Kizavnu
Kizavnu
Latsnu
Latsnu
Maradnu
Maradnu
Niyatsnu
Niyatsnu
Sararnu
Sararnu
Avinu
Avinu
Pashanu
Pashanu
Sararnu
Sararnu
Kishinu Ore
Kishinu Orel
Ay da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 Rashanu
Rashanu
Shichatnu
Shichatnu
Ta'avnu
Ta'avnu
Ta'inu
Ta'inu
Titanu
Titanu
Ay da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 da.
Page 237.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך באונס וברצון, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך באימוץ הלב, על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בבלי דעת, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בבלי שפתיים, על חטא שחטאנו לפניך, ועל חטא שחטאנו ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בדברי פה, ועל חטא ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך ביודעים ולא יודעים, ועל כולם אלוה סליחות, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, כפר לנו, ועל כולם אלוה סליחות, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, כפר לנו. על חטא שחטאנו לפניך, ורחש וחזה וחטא שחטאנו לפניך, החטא שחטאנו לפניך, על החטא שחטאנו לפניך, ועל החטא שחטאנו לפניך בעזות מצח, ועל כולם אלוה סליחות, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, כפר לנו, ועל כולם אלוה סליחות, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, כפר לנו. על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בפריקת עול, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בפלילות, על חטא שחטאנו לפניך, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בדמון לבב, ועל כולם אלוה סליחות, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, כפר לנו, ועל כולם אלוה סליחות, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, כפר לנו.
Please turn to page 243 in the middle of the page for Avinu Malkeinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, Hachazirenu b'tshuva shlema lefanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, return us to your presence fully penitent.
Avinu Malkeinu, shelach refuah shlema lechol amecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, send complete healing to the sick among your people.
Avinu Malkeinu, zochreinu b'zikaron tov lefanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, remember us favorably.
Avinu Malkeinu, kodveinu b'sefer chaim tovim.
Avinu Malkeinu, inscribe us for good in the book of life.
Avinu Malkeinu, kodveinu b'sefer geula v'yeshua.
Avinu Malkeinu, inscribe us in the book of redemption.
Avinu Malkeinu, kodveinu b'sefer parnasa v'chalakala.
Avinu Malkeinu, inscribe us in the book of sustenance.
Avinu Malkeinu, kodveinu b'sefer zchuyot.
Avinu Malkeinu, inscribe us in the book of merit.
Avinu Malkeinu, kodveinu b'sefer slicha u'mechila.
Avinu Malkeinu, inscribe us in the book of forgiveness.
We'll join together in the familiar congregational melody on the top of page 244. Please join us. Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu Vanenu. Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu Vanenu. Ki ein banu masim, aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed. עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד והושיענו, אבינו מלכנו, חוננו ועננו, אבינו מלכנו, חוננו ועננו, כי אין בנו מעשים, עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד, עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד והושיענו. The ark is now closed. Before we begin to conclude our service with Aleinu, we'll call on our fearless leader, our president, Martin Rogowski, but you can call him Marty.
Good Yontif. What a wonderful, meaningful Rosh Hashanah we enjoyed last week. The wonders of technology. But what a difference the last 7 months have made in all of our lives. To be sure, our most important thoughts are with our friends, families, and synagogue members who have lost loved ones to the COVID virus. This has been a devastating time for so many. And for those of us who are making our way through this pandemic environment, we certainly are missing the day-to-day opportunities we had taken for granted to be together, to share experiences, and of course, to pray together in our beautiful sanctuary. We have prayed remotely for the last 7 months, and your synagogue leadership was hoping to be able to share the high holiday services with all of you in person. Unfortunately, this was not to be. On the recommendations of our High Holiday Task Force, we reluctantly accepted the fact that we would all be safer and feel more comfortable by staying home this year, with the hope and expectation that we will see each other in person this time next year. And of course, we are saddened by the fact that Rabbi Hammerman has not been able to lead our congregation through this holiday season. We were heartened by the fact that Rabbi was able to address us on Rosh Hashanah and now on Yom Kippur. We expect that Rabbi will be back soon, and we know that he is looking forward to seeing all of us in person. However, in Rabbi's absence, I cannot say enough in expressing the appreciation of our entire lay leadership for the outstanding work Cantor Marcos has done during the many weeks leading up to the high holidays. In this extraordinary time when we are live streaming and pre-recording, Cantor Marcos has managed to put all the pieces in place for uplifting, spiritual, and meaningful services throughout the high holidays. He has added the titles of producer and director to his resume, and he has risen to the challenge of these unprecedented times to make our holidays so inspiring. So thank you, Marcos, and thank you, Nicole, our Atidat Ami rabbinic intern. We were blessed to have Steve Axon as our rabbinic intern last year. And what a blessing it is for us to have Nicole Goluboff with us this year. She has been simply wonderful sharing the bima with Cantor Marcos. And thanks to all of our staff for persevering through these difficult times. We are grateful to you all. And speaking of staff, a word about Ronit Rozanovsky, our educational director. Ronit's challenge began quite literally overnight, back in March, when we had to switch our Kehila school to remote learning only. Ronit and her teachers were up for the challenge, and did a magnificent job throughout the spring. Well, it's Kahila school time again, and I can only say how grateful we are to have Ronit as the person in charge of our children's Jewish education. She is simply outstanding, but she would not forgive me if I did not also acknowledge her tremendous teachers who teach our children with enthusiasm and compassion. And I must give a shout out to Heather Ross and her school board, who have worked hand in hand with Ronit to ensure our success. Now let me take just a few more minutes to address the state of our beloved JCCH. I want to talk about connections and commitments. The heart and soul of our synagogue is our community, and we are the community. What does it mean to be the heart and soul? We are all connected. Our strength is our support for each other. In good times, we celebrate together. In tough times, we reach out to each other. We take care of each other. Chesed, kindness, and compassion. These are the qualities of our soul. We all search for ways to express chesed. We do so individually and as a community. I want you all to know of the great work that our Chesed Committee does on our behalf. Led by our great captain, Heather Schwartz, our Chesed Committee is our caring committee. They perform acts of loving kindness for everyone in need. When someone questions the value of a JCCH membership, many times what is not mentioned is the opportunity not only to be part of a loving community, but to have the opportunity, when dictated by circumstances, to be the recipient of that loving kindness. During this pandemic, more than ever, we are called upon to look out for each other. Please know that the JCCH is here for you. Anytime, any place, any day of the week, we are here for you. And if any of you have some extra time, we would welcome additional volunteers to the Chesed Committee. And now a few words about commitment. Commitment to the JCCH, commitment to our Jewish identity, and the role of our synagogue in that identity. Our sanctuary is beautiful. Our school building is exceptional. And with our new gymnasium and our solar panels, our building is now complete. While bricks and mortar are not the only way to express our Jewish identity, I would argue that there is a central role for our bricks and mortar. It is important that our facilities are available to us, that our clergy are available to us, that there is a place in the neighborhood for us to seek comfort and solace. But what is the glue that keeps this commitment alive? I asked Rabbi Hammerman several months ago during one of our many conversations, how do we remind our members that during a pandemic, during a time when our facilities are not available to us, when even now we cannot pray together in our sanctuary, that our members understand that they must remain committed and keep their memberships, even when isolated from each other. I asked him, how does one teach the need to support the synagogue? Do we learn this lesson in school? We discussed the hope that this commitment is passed down from generation to generation, that parents role model for their children by joining a synagogue. Rabbi Hammerman said we have to hope it gets into the DNA of the next generation, that supporting our synagogue, any synagogue, is just the right thing to do and the necessary thing to do. I hear from other synagogue presidents around Westchester how concerned they are that their members may not rejoin this year, believing that they won't get their money's worth, especially those who are the 3 days a year shul goers, and when this year even those 3 days have been eliminated. I am more optimistic than many of my peers. I know that our members are committed to our continued success, that our leadership is committed to making our community even stronger. Our best days are still ahead of us. We have tremendous volunteers all throughout our membership and a professional staff that is fully committed to our success. I will leave you with this teaser. It is our sincere hope that we will have a fully functioning and outstanding early childhood center starting next September, with top quality childcare and classes for our youngest members from 6 months to age 5. So stay tuned for more on this. And on behalf of the Rogowski family, I want to wish all of you a very healthy, happy, safe, and sweet new year. And let us all look forward to being together in person next year to celebrate the new year 5782. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our chairperson of the board, Matt Benson, for a very important message. Shana Tova.
Shana Tova. And thank you, Marty, for your service to this congregation, not only this year, but over so many years. It's much appreciated. On the secular calendar, the sequence of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur can commence as soon as the first few days of September, or as late as the first week in October. But this year, one in which the world seems to be spinning in so many strange and extreme ways, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur have landed almost exactly where we normally would expect to find them, precisely in mid-September, against the picture-perfect backdrop during so many days this week of crisp, sunny days with just a hint of fall chill in the air. These deeply meaningful and familiar rhythms of the Jewish calendar bring us comfort, reassurance, and hope. And they remind us that our calendar, like Judaism itself, bends but doesn't ever break. This high holiday season, bending but not breaking, is an apt metaphor for the entirety of our JCCH community. Collectively, we've experienced great hardship, grief, and anxiety in recent months. And at the same time, in other ways, many of us have been fortunate enough to embrace the silver lining of a slower pace, more time with our closest family and friends, or a new perspective on the world around us and our place in it. And through all of this, we can share great pride in the fact that the JCCH continues to shine its light as a center for Jewish spirituality and religious practice, Jewish education, and Jewish social action in all stages of life for everyone in our community. Indeed, with thanks to the commitments of time, energy, and financial resources of our members, we bend, but we do not break. Our Kol Nidrei fundraising campaign is a critically important case in point. It helps bridge the gap between what standard membership dues can provide, which we keep modest so that all can be welcome to join the JCCH, regardless of their means, and the operating budget that drives the full range of our programs. This year, that includes so many innovations in how the JCCH reaches out from the synagogue and into our homes, and vice versa. I could not be more proud of how we mobilized as a community to connect with one another at the height of the pandemic lockdown, to be sure that no one was overlooked or forgotten, and that all knew they were watched over and cared for. And I could not be more proud of how we're maintaining Shabbat services and weekday minyanim, even when it has to be remote. And I absolutely could not be more proud of how we're cultivating and making bloom the spiritual and ritual essence of these high holidays. This broadcast, yes, it's virtual, but the ability to embrace it and feel it and be impacted by it could not be more real. Many members have already made their donation to the Kol Nidrei campaign this year, and for that, we are very grateful. If you've participated in past years, but not yet done so this year, we thank you and ask you that you continue your support. If you've not previously contributed, we hope that you'll join the vast majority of your fellow congregants and do so this year. And this year especially, we ask those who have been blessed with the ability to increase their support to consider doing so out of respect and consideration for those in our community who are more challenged. Please, when you are approached by letter, email, or phone call about this year's Kol Nidrei pledge, we ask that you take notice. Stand up to say, Hineni, here I am, and heed the call. Thank you again for all you do to be part of the JCCH community. It's truly a very special one, and you make it so. On behalf of the entire Kol Nidrei committee, we extend our sincere hopes and best wishes to you and your family for the promise and renewal of a healthy, happy, and sweet new year. Thank you.
The Ark is open. Please turn to page 246 for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כאויי ארצות ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגוררנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נותן שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומשה ויקרו השמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת. אין עוד. על כן נקווה לך אדוני אלוהינו לראות מהרה בתפארת עוזך. ותמלוך עלינו. כך כתוב בתורתך אדוני מלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Mourner's Kaddish on page 247. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yalma divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudesha brichu. Le'ela, mikol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen.
Amen.
Page 248 for Psalm 27.
לדוד אדוני יורי וישימי מאירה, אדוני מעוזכם ממי אבחן בגרבה. אחת שאלתי מאדוני, אותה אבקש, שיפתי בבית אדוני. קבל אדוני חזק ויאמץ ליבך וקבל אדוני.
Page 249, Adon Olam.
אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבד דו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה מתפארה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא להינשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא והוא אחד ואין שני להמשילו להכבירה בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא העוז והמזרע אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא להינשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא והוא אלי וחי גואלי וצור חבלי ביצרה והוא ניסי ומנוס לי מנת כוסי ויום מקרא אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא להינשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא בידו הפקיד רוחי באין תשאל ואירה ועם רוחי גביעתי אדוני לי ולא אירה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא להינשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא להינשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא. Kol Nidrei, above all else, is a desire for us to enter the new year with a clean slate. We will sing a new song for this new year, words not found in your machzor, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah. Let us sing a new song, Hallelujah. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir 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 Hallelujah. Gemar Chatima Tova, Shana Tova.
See you tomorrow.
Have a meaningful fast. Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Agi, Tehilatecha, Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Agi, Tehilatecha, Ose Shalom.
shalom dimroma hu ya'aseh shalom